Today marks the first Labor Day with President Trump back in office, and the White House is celebrating the successes of his workers' first economy. White House spokeswoman Taylor Rogers telling Fox News, quote, President Trump believes that American workers are the heart and soul of our economy, which is why he's championed an agenda that always puts them first. From signing the largest middle-class tax cuts in history to securing nearly $10 trillion in new investments to create high-paying jobs across our country.
Joining us now is a former construction worker. He's now the author of Blue Collar Cash. We've had him on before. We're having him on today on Labor Day. Ken Rusk. Ken, what has the presidency of Donald Trump meant for the American worker?
Well, you know, as somebody that has started a business back in 1986 with just 6 people, and I think the other day we crossed over 200, we kind of understand that this worker first mentality. You know, the interesting thing about Donald Trump that I don't think most of his critics understand is that, yeah, he is a billionaire, and typically that's where the conversation ends, right? But here's a guy who literally sat on backhoes. He sat on earth scrapers. He worked on bulldozers when he was younger. He was around the steel workers and the plumbers and the electricians and the carpenters. And he kind of identifies with them because he knows what they go through. So for me, the presidency's just been wonderful because I know that he has our backs. I know that he wants us to do well, and we're all in on that.
You know, I want to talk about the regulations and the rollbacks of these regulations. I think a lot of people miss how important that is to not be so heavily regulated in your line of work. I mean, when you look at what Jimmy Carter did with the emissions regulations, I mean, that shut down all the coal mines. And that was really hard on them. So what do the rollbacks of regulations do to help your line of work?
Well, I can tell you that anything having to do with a permit, I mean, a permit used to be something you would just walk in, you lay down your paperwork and you'd walk out with it. Now there's weeks and months and sometimes years of this overregulation, you know, micromanaging every part of the process. And it really slows down, you know, when someone has a spontaneous idea and they want to start a development or they want to do some new shopping center or whatever. You have to think about 4 or 5 years now of permits. I mean, it's insane. I can tell you that even in my hometown, we are already feeling some of the loosening of some of these regulations. And I've seen people scraping dirt and putting pipe in the ground, and things are starting to happen now. So we're all behind the fact that he's loosening these things up, and progress is moving forward.
Yeah, Trump moves fast. No
yeah, he does.
What it's a construction, the government, he moves fast. There's been a significant wage boost for the blue collar worker under President Trump, up 1.7% from when Biden was in office. And my other takeaway is that we're adding private jobs more and getting rid of government jobs more. Shouldn't we all, whether Republican, Democrat, Independent, we should all celebrate that, because that means money is going into our tax base, not coming out to pay these government workers. Your thoughts?
Well, exactly. You know, we've been watching the government getting bloated for years and years and years. We've seen so many labor reports where it's like, oh, we got all these new jobs, and then you find out most of them are government. It is so refreshing to see, you know, the mom and pop shops, the small businesses around this country start to employ people again. And remember, this is a simple supply and demand issue, Todd. I mean, you've got where supply is low and demand is high. That's where the money goes. That's where the activity goes. And that's where you're seeing now. Some of these positions need 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 workers in the next couple of years, and we need to find those people to fill those things.
What about the young people? Are you seeing a boost in young people wanting to get into your trade?
You know, it's so amazing because I've been trumpeting this, Ashley, for years. People are starting to finally figure out, you know what, maybe that expensive 4-year degree isn't the way to go. Mm-hmm. Maybe starting an apprenticeship or working under a current business owner who's about to retire. I am seeing people all over our town start to think, you know what? That plumbing career could be lucrative for me as long as I know why I'm doing it to begin with. Okay, that electrician career could be lucrative for me as long as I have a plan for my future and I know why I'm doing it. And yeah, we're seeing these jobs that are lucrative ones start to come back in force.
Ken Rusk, always appreciated, especially today on Labor Day.
Thanks,
Thank
Ken.
you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.